Hello and welcome to My Mom's Basement, presented by Barstool Sports and 3Chi. I am your host, Robbie Fox, and as you see, if you're on YouTube, we've got a guest with us today. It's Robbie, it's Clem, and it's Brendan Clancy, back by popular demand. He was with us for a few episodes of WandaVision, and his theories just knocked it out of the park. Not that they were necessarily correct, but that everyone loved them. They were like, listen, this would be fun to think about if it did happen. So, Brendan, we got you back for the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Clem, you've been with us the entire time. But, Brendan, let's start with you. How have you been enjoying this show?
I liked it. I really liked it. I wasn't like worried about it, but I was almost ready to detox from WandaVision and be like, I was looking forward to it because I was like, this will be a little bit easier to watch. The theories won't be as weird and convoluted. So I'm enjoying it. And also just like an action movie, get a little bit of that. My wife doesn't like it. She's like, that last scene, I'm sure we'll get to it. She was like, I think I'm out on this. I was like, I'm gonna keep going. But I've been loving it so far for sure.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Clem, what'd you think about episode 4?
So I think we were starting to lose some of the people who were on the fence before this episode, and we might have lost some at the end of the episode, like Brent said with that final scene. But I think this episode probably brought people a little more back in because, again, I think the way things kind of broke at the end there, it's going to make this whole gray. Like we said, it's the Marvel universe, I think, is going to be a lot more shades of gray. And I mean, when the whitest of white character goes and gets some gray in him, that's going to be some shit, or at least the icon of that character. So, and again, I think like we said this episode 1 and 2, and people thought, I was just being my stupid supervillain loving self. I really think you're not really supposed to know what to think about anybody in this show. The Flag Smashers, the new Captain America. I mean, I think we can and again, Bucky, there's still a couple secret words in there that haven't been deprogrammed in Wakanda. I still believe that. So we'll get to the Hydra list at the end of the episode here. But we were talking offline. I never thought, like, again, I'm not a Cap guy, but I never thought this show was going to be great. I never thought it was going to be like, oh my God. And I also thought that it probably didn't have like the side of WandaVision where it could get so weird with theories and stuff. It would just bring you back for more. But I think it's perfectly fine for what it is. It's not great. It's not bad. It's perfectly fine. I think that's what we could sign up for. And it looks fucking awesome on TV. Right?
Yeah, I think your point to this episode grabbing people is definitely going to ring true, because I got a text from Glenny Balls before I even watched the episode this week, and he was like, oh my God, I wasn't really in on Falcon and the Winter Soldier before, but the ending of this episode has me in. We did talk offline about it, because we've been getting some tweets, and people are saying like, Robbie, I'm a Cap guy, but I just can't get into the show. What is it? There are people that just like aren't into this show. And it surprised me because I'm a Cap guy. I'm pretty into this show. I don't think it's Breaking Bad. I don't think it's, oh my God, this show is revolutionary. But I'm enjoying it week in and week out. There's nothing in the show that I was like, I wish they didn't do that, or I wish they didn't go in that direction. Every direction that they're going, especially with this episode, now that we have this new interesting development where John Walker is a super serum lunatic. I like it. I think it's good.
Can I just clarify, when you guys bring me on here, I am a Marvel stan. So to hear that people are like, I don't know. I mean, like I might stay up for WandaVision. Like I might watch this deep into the night. I'm not doing that. Maybe for the finale if things get really good. But right now I'm like, I'm going to watch this Friday evening. Like, I'm not worried about spoilers, but I'm like absolutely watching it. Like, so I mean, a Marvel show is going to have to be terrible for me not to watch it. I'm just clarifying that. So some people think like this is not an unbiased opinion. This is
exactly. This is not a terrible show. This is not. I wouldn't even say this is a bad show. I wouldn't even say this is an okay show. I would say this is a very good show.
Right.
There's a lot of cool stuff, like bringing Zemo back, having him put the mask back on. Like last week had so many cool elements to it. Sharon Carter becoming Sharon Wick, which I don't think we mentioned, but it was directed by the director of John Wick, so that made a lot of sense. We were like, oh my God, they were really like paying homage to John Wick. They must be a big fan. They probably are a big fan. The fucking guy directed it. So there you go.
The creator of
the life's work. Yeah, life's work.
Before we get into the episode, let me remind everybody about our presenting sponsor, 3Chi. 3Chi is the industry leader in Delta-8 THC products, as I tell you guys each and every week, and all of these products are formulated by a biochemist, probably one like Bruce Banner or something. Or we're going to save the Dr. Nagel comparisons. We're going to save them for like a bad sponsor because, I mean, we can't say Dr. Nagel's making 3Chi if he's making the Super Soldier Serum. But actually, I mean, if he's making stuff that good, maybe he is making 3Chi. Maybe he's in a little bunker somewhere making 3Chi. Who knows? This stuff is made in the USA, though, with USA-grown hemp, and their Delta-8 THC is a federally legal version of THC, and it's a more functional alternative to marijuana. It gives off an amazing buzz and a great body feel, but with a clear head and less anxiety and paranoia, at least for me. It's available online at 3chi.com, that's the number 3chi.com, and at retailers around the country. You must be 21 or older to purchase, but if you are, I really, really swear by this stuff and highly recommend you give their site a look because they've got tons of products now. They've got vapes, treats, edibles, gummies, tinctures, oils, pretty much any product you would want in THC form, they've got. They've got brownies, they've got like Rice Krispie style cereal treats. Use the promo code MMB at checkout and you will receive 5% off your complete order. I cannot recommend this stuff enough. It really helps with sleep. It helps with inflammation for me. Use it responsibly. Again, this is not CBD. It's psychoactive. And promo code is MMB. Use that at checkout. You'll get 5% off your order. All right. Are you guys ready to get into Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 4 in depth?
Let's do it.
Take me to Wakanda, Robbie.
I am taking you to Wakanda because that's how we started off the episode. You get that like tribal drums. You get the little sound indications that you're going to Wakanda, like fire me up as much as actually going to Wakanda. And we get to see 6 years ago some of the deprogramming that the Wakandans were doing on Bucky. And they're reading the programming words to him. And he's very nervous about it. But Io tells him, listen, I won't let you hurt anybody. Very badass thing to say too. Like, listen, fucking guy with the metal arm, you're not a threat to us here. The White Wolf, though, as they called him, and they read the words, nothing happens, and he has this just release of happiness and relief and really like well acted scene by Sebastian Stan. You know, he's crying, it's an emotional moment, and then we flash back to the end of last week's episode where Io's like, look at all we did for you. How could you turn your back on us and break him out? Bucky says, listen, he's a means to an end. She gives him 8 hours, and we kick off the episode.
I love that he still has the White Wolf name and she addresses him by. I'm like, yeah, Buck, we're still alive. We're still the White Wolf. And now he's going to, come up to Sam. At some point, it'll come up where she said, he's like, I told you, the White Wolf right here. I love, you said it, Robbie. Every time they go to Wakanda, we get some sort of musical cue. I think they should do that for the rest of the time, which, I mean, they probably have been, will be doing, and they have been doing this whole time. Send me to Wakanda, Daddy sounds like a fucking phrase. That might be, for all I know, Alex Cooper says that every episode of Call Me Daddy. I'm not sure. At the Gluck 9000, take me to Wakanda, Daddy. Whatever. I it's a little above my pay grade here. I was loving that scene. That Winter Soldier deprogramming scene, it was great. We were getting kind of the flashbacks. And then they had to show my dog, Tony Stark's mom, getting murdered again. Listen, no more Mrs. Stark getting murdered. You could show Papa Stark getting murdered. But yeah, she's all fucking banged up from the car accident. She gets choked out. Like, show Howard. Don't show Mama Stark, Marissa, or whatever her name. Like, that was just fucking wrong, man. And this was the best acting I think I've seen since, like, WandaVision, since Elizabeth Olsen was doing it. Fucking Sebastian Stan, his like emotions on his face, the tears. I think Mr. Stan, he's apparently joining us because I'm telling you, he looks a little like Super Producer BC. Yeah, I thought there was a little bit of. I saw the hair.
That's a compliment right there.
Absolutely no, or a huge insult to him. I mean, I don't know. I am flattered. I am blushing. Jeez, I will take that comparison every single day. I don't know why I'm so shocked every time they just like bring us to another place, but I get so excited. I'm like, oh, we're in Wakanda. Okay, cool. It's like, yeah, I mean, like we literally just saw Io. Like, of course we're in Wakanda, but I'm like, oh, good. We're gonna get more detail. We're gonna get more background. I love it. I got like ayahuasca vibes. I've never done anything like that, but I've watched many documentaries on like you sit in this tribal area with the, it's like a cleansing. I don't know what they did to him, but obviously it worked. I don't know if it was science, medicine, spiritual, but like freeing him. But and I don't know. This is where I go into like the WandaVision super theories. But I'm like, is that indicating that? Is this really going to not go off?
It's Sebastian Stan being like, bro, you don't look like me.
Just call me immediately. Hell no. I don't know what they're saying to you. Is that just teasing? Like, that could just be at face value. I'm trying to take things more at face value and just be like, this is not an indicator that he can be reprogrammed. But it certainly could be. Like Clem said, like those words could Zemo reactivate it somehow? Like maybe just not anybody can reactivate it, or maybe not those words can reactivate it. But you show it and you go, oh, he's clear. I get that could just be them answering the question, why is he allowed to interact with Zemo right now? Oh, it's because Wakanda cured him.
Yeah,
but it's also could be indicating that maybe he can go back to Winter Soldier. So I don't know, but I love it. Love where it's going. And yeah, happy to be in Wakanda.
I almost feel for Bucky because, like, as much reprogramming as they do for him, he's always gonna have that question of like, we don't know. Winter Soldier, you killed, Tony Stark's mom, and we saw it all happen. It's
honestly a little weird that everybody's like, well, I mean, but he was being controlled, and they're like, yeah, but I mean, he still did it. So
he's a good guy. Like, come on, he's a good guy.
He's a hero, and we need him for the show to exist. So everybody likes him.
I am the Michael Scott thank you gift to Robbie right now. Like, I've been telling this to Robbie, and I know this is Robbie's best friend's best friend, basically, right? That's how this all works out because he's such a Cap guy. And I understand, and it seems like I'm an Iron Man guy saying it. So as Brendan, as the, impartial third party here, it is fucking kind of weird here that this, like, super weapon that has assassinated an assassin. He's an assassin. We're just letting assassin run wild.
Clem, he went to therapy, though. He went to that lady who gave him a list. And, now it's fine. He's got a super arm, and what are you going to do? I mean,
and now he can't even go to therapy, too. He's got no way to, like, talk that shit out because now he's on the run. He's doing this. He's doing that. John Walker's like, he don't need the therapy anymore. John Walker, he might need the therapy. Might got to call up our friends at BetterHelp, get that therapy on the phone for you.
John Walker might need therapy.
Might. John Walker needs therapy, brother. He needs therapy. We learned that Carly Morgenthau's profile has really grown since the bombing. We learned that, many were injured, a few were killed. Zemo compares the Avengers to the Nazis. He actually makes the comparison of like, super soldiers. You got the Nazis, you got the Avengers. And there was such a funny line from Sam where he's like, hey, those were our friends, man. And Bucky's like, the Avengers, not the Nazis, man. Come on. And Zemo has this great line where he says, the super soldier serum has never affected anyone, but there has never been another Steve. And Bucky and Sam share that look where I don't know what the look was necessarily saying, whether it was, hey, neither of us are Steve. We knew Steve, and obviously that's kind of what's daunting to us, or if it's there kind of wasn't another Steve. It was Isaiah Bradley, and we met him. He's in a house in Baltimore right now. So they share that look, though. Sam and Bucky go off to Riga. John Walker comes in as well. John Walker just tracking them everywhere they fucking go. He's really onto him. He's a tough guy to escape. But I thought this was a really good scene between Zemo, Sam, and Bucky. It's another one where Zemo kind of stole the scene. Like, well, with all his quotes, with his monologuing, he's stealing every scene he's in.
Let's also call out what else he's doing. He's fucking pulling off. He's a fashion icon. Zemo is a fashion. The way he rocks the robe in like that, whatever hotel they're in or that apartment, it looks awesome. It's like so crazy European that my dumb American brain can't even fathom it. But he has like the robe on with like the little pants, and he still has that little Zemo like hair curl on it. And then he pulls it off when he's wearing the jacket with the little fur in the back. I'm like, this
jacket with the fur. Oh my god, that thing is fire.
That's a reference. You see the real like uniform that he wears has like the fur patches, and they're just like, oh, all right, we'll just put him in a jacket that sort of looks like that.
Brilliant. It's brilliant. Mwah. Concept artists, give them a raise. Whoever came up with that.
No wonder why we're fucking standing the purple mask, because the guy just is like, like if he had like a blue mask or a red mask, whatever, the guy put them together, purple mask, we're like, icon. Bob Fox is now a villain guy because the guy just put a fucking purple ski mask on. It's incredible. The guy, like you said, he absolutely steals every single scene. Flag Smashers, I will say, being mentioned with the Nazis and Ultron was tough. However, that Avengers line, like 2-2, like 2 good guys, 2 bad guys, maybe we could come to that. Bucky being like a guy who literally was fighting the Nazis, having to remind them that the Nazis, like I always need one reminder that Bucky is like this old ass dude from like the 20s, right? That grew up in the 20s. And the other thing was TT. That's like Sam's aunt or whatever. Or do you guys have any weird like different names for like grandmas and grandpas or aunts and stuff like that? Like we have Mima, Nana, and Mimi's. Those are our 3 here.
It's not mine, but like my cousins on their mom's side, who's related to us through marriage. So their grandma, my cousin's grandma, that's not my grandma, is their Mima. So Mima is like I always think that's just like, arbitrary. Like, just like, who just decided that? Like, just randomly. Like,
I don't have any names like that. My friend growing up called his grandma Mimi. I remember that. Mimi.
Yeah.
So there you go. My principal also growing up was, this is fucked up. Her name was Mimi Bear. Mimi Bear is the name of my principal. Sounded like some kind of stuffed animal or something.
Yeah.
She quit after my 8th grade year, and at my 8th grade graduation said, this 8th grade class was the reason I quit. Worst behaved children I've ever seen in my life. In front of all our parents and everything.
Wow. You made Mimi Bear retire? That's like the meanest thing. That's like a fucking maybe you are Zemo after all, Bob. Jesus.
Yeah, she was like, these kids, Nazis, Ultron.
Fair.
Compared to us all. We find out that we got to find Carly, though. The borders are getting tighter because of the bombings, and we got to go to Riga to find her. Like I said, John Walker caught up with them very quickly once they got to Riga, and they have different interpretations of like how they want to deal with her, or different theories on how they should deal with her. Sam wants to be a little more diplomatic. Sam wants to talk it through. He wants to be like, listen, what's the deal? We could relate a little bit. Where's the rest of the super soldier serum? We know it's out there because we know only, I think, 8 of the Flag Smashers took it, but there were 20 vials, Dr. Nagel said. We actually see them looking at the vials over the grave. And once again, we get a scene where it seems like Carly and this other Flag Smasher actually, they're not the worst people. They have some, at least in their own mind, justification for what they're doing. One of them is a Captain America fan. He even says, you're like, shit, he was a fan. Damn, just like me. I could have turned out into a Flag Smasher if I was in this world or something. And Sam wants to go talk to her. John Walker wants to be a little more fucking American, kick the doors down. America, fuck yeah. Sam very much taking the Captain America route, though. I feel like that's what Steve would have wanted to do.
It was crazy how like low key that was. He just walked in and they were just like bullshitting. You know what I mean? And it was like such an adult conversation. And I was like, oh shit, is this like still the Falcon and the Winter Soldier? And I actually appreciated it that it doesn't always have to be superhero shit, right? It could just be normal human shit. And again, kind of made the Flag Smashers look good. I believe Carly was compared to Cap at one point. You're kind of like our Cap. I like that. Again, I'm really trying to get Robbie on my side of the Flag Smashers. I mean, he's a Zemo guy for life. I don't know. If Zemo pulls off another fit, I mean, I might suck his dick. I'm just gonna say it. I might suck his dick. I loved how Zemo went in there and was singing "Ba Ba Black Sheep." I mean, Super Producer BC, you know how it is with the kids. You got to get those couple songs that just get them going. That one has been, a heater forever. I
forgot to mention, the Turkish delights he used on the children to get like Carly Morgenthau's location on them. And immediately when you saw like the Turkish delights in the hotel or wherever they were staying, you knew like, something sus about those. They like stayed on the shot a little too long.
Zemo feels like he's on a fucking list right here where you're giving out candy to kids. Like that doesn't fly. I know Latvia, it's in the middle of this crazy Flag Smasher revolution. You can't just be giving out candies to kids in broad daylight. I will say this, however, that shit works because I have never had a Turkish delight in my life. But I remember reading The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in like 4th grade, and they talk about it, and it sounds like it is the greatest candy ever created. And I think it's supposed to be a literary device or something, but I just remember Turkish delight, and I always thought it was chocolate. I had no idea they're like these little like fruit-looking candies.
Is it like taffy or something? Maybe, I don't know. We might have to get some Turkish delights for next week. Try them on the show. I
was hoping one of you guys have had them before because they sound so fucking good. And I mean, these kids just start squealing. It had a little bit of a vibe of I think it's Varys who gets the kids, his little birdies in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
And then that new Meister, the Cersei's dude who's like the scumbag, kind of starts using the kids as his little birdies. But like, it just kind of goes to show, I feel like in these like crazy war torn towns, the kids are always the ones you go to because they're able to fit in spaces. They're always nosy. Kids are always getting in places they shouldn't go. Again, Super Producer BC could back me up on this one.
Have you guys talked about Flag Smasher, the character in the comics?
Only a little bit. We talked about him in episode 1 and kind of talked about how, he is a villain in the comics. And it seems like in this, they're taking his character and spreading all of the traits out among the Flag Smashers.
Right. And that's just what I love about this stuff because I didn't know anything about Flag Smasher, the character, but, obviously just Googled it and stuff like that. And seeing that Flag Smasher, the original Flag Smasher being named Carl Morgenthau, and they just named her Carly Morgenthau. I mean, I just love that stuff. And the way they handle nicknames, the way they referenced Wanda, like, oh, she doesn't have any nicknames, but then by the end, Agatha gives it to her. You wouldn't just like put on a hood. Like I always thought Baron Zemo when I first saw him on the Marvel cards, when I was collecting as a little kid, I was like, oh, I don't know what Zemo is a reference to. It's just dude's name. Like that's his name in this. So for this to be like, it would make much more sense for a weird group to be named the Flag Smashers, and for Carl/Carly to be the leader of it, being somewhat maybe occasionally referenced as Flag Smasher. I just love the way they do all this backstory and make it make sense in the real world, because it's just like people don't get weird nicknames, and even the people who do get weird nicknames, like Captain America, got a weird nickname because it was marketing.
It was propaganda,
like,
exactly.
All these things, like find a way to work themselves out. That White Wolf was a character in Wakanda, but now they just give it to Bucky because he's a white dude. Like, I mean, So I mean, I just love the way all this stuff is coming together. I think I'm ready for just something that gives you the blip, like what happened during the blip. I'm talking about like I'll watch a sitcom, like I'll watch like a comedy where it's just occurs in the world, because hearing that there were no borders, and now that's why they want the flag smashed. Like it's all super interesting. I know that some people were when WandaVision was sitcoms, and they were like, I don't get it. Why isn't it superheroes? I'm like, I want it to be very clear. Like I just want like an Always Sunny in Philadelphia style show that just takes place during the blip, and there's just Easter eggs, and it's just funny. Like I'm ready for it.
I would absolutely watch that. Yeah, just give us two random people that existed in the Marvel Cinematic Universe during that time. Even when Carly Morgenthau in this episode says like, we moved into our new homes and then they kicked us out. I want to see that. I want to see like, well, that family got blipped away. They got a mansion sitting there. Can we just move into that, man?
Right.
Like, I feel bad, but I mean, that's just sitting there, right? And then eventually when they come back, it's like, you're in our fucking house. What's going on? You remodeled the place. You repainted the living room. What's going on here?
You just want to see all that into the room, and it's all different. I think it's interesting to see Disney Plus tackle like the extreme violence that we're going to talk about at the end, and two, like the political stuff. Like I mean, I think it's real, and you have to go in on it. But just talking about that stuff is like kind of polarizing. Also, did you guys hear that there was a storyline essentially dropped, and that's why Donya.
I heard something about like there were trigger warnings added to Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, and then someone must have said there was something that related too much to the real world, and they were like, screw that, we're gonna drop it. I saw
they cut a storyline. I don't really know all the details on this, but I guess the actress who plays Mama Donya is like a little too famous to just be laying dead. Like she's done a few other things, and they were like very surprised that she's like already gone. She had a storyline, and they said it was too close to COVID-19. Like, remember they like were trying to. Didn't they say something like they're stealing vaccines?
Yeah,
and then it's just vaccines, then you don't really hear too much about that. So there was like something that was a little too close to that they removed. And again, tackling some stuff like, I don't know, maybe is that just completely a coincidence? Were they filming so long ago? Filming in 2019? Maybe, I don't know. But or maybe they, we were hearing about the virus when it was in China, and they were like, oh, we could talk about this, and then not realizing that was going to go full worldwide and literally change the world, so they had to cut that. So, Disney Plus is getting into some shit.
It's a shame that they cut that, but thank God, like, we didn't have to get reminded of that in the episode. We could just go off to Europe and forget about it all for a little bit. But like you said, they are tackling like way more adult topics in this show, and it feels like it has a little more adult energy and adult like undertones than the movies do. Like maybe that's just by the fact that they have to flesh things out and they have to talk about things a little more, because this is going to be 6 hours as opposed to 2 if you made it a movie. But it feels more adult. It feels like they're saying shit a lot more. It feels like every episode we get like three guys being like, shit, oh my God. And I'm like, every time I'm Rick Dalton pointing at
language.
The screen. Yeah. I love, and I think I might have mentioned this last week as well, all of the European environments that we've been in. I feel like the way the show is shot kind of reminds me of like Civil War when they were going in Europe in those ways, but just it gives the show its own feel, gives the show its own vibe of like, we're traveling city to city, going here. I like that they put it on the screen. They tell you where we're going to. I like that about Civil War too. Like when you saw Queens on the screen, you were like, oh shit, we're seeing Spider-Man. Here we go. So yeah, the Turkish delights. Zemo even had a little sus moment where he's like, those two guys, don't trust them. they're bad people. And then that was like, as a Zemo guy, we were Zemo guys for all of 15 minutes before he started throwing wrenches in our plan.
I also liked how they were like, he's gonna do the head tilt thing, and then he like changed his head, like just three best friends we've ever had. It was beautiful seeing this little friendship between them, but it's like he's still fucking Zemo. And I think you said, Bren, the fact he's like, I was a Baron. It's like Baron Zemo. Oh, it makes perfect to this day. Doctor Strange just having the last name Strange. That's the only reason why.
Yeah, even Strange. That's it.
Because I remember being a comic book guy. I didn't like follow Doctor Strange. I was like, that's a little much right there. The name Doctor Strange. Nope. Turns out it happens to be his name.
Sam goes and talks to her. This is during the funeral. He actually lets her make a nice eulogy. He stands up. He's in the back. He's not interrupting her. She sees him right away and finishes the eulogy, but she definitely throws a little politics into it. Just she wants Sam to hear what she's saying here. She gives a great monologue, eulogy, whatever you want to call it. I feel like the actress Erin Kellyman did a really good job in this episode. We didn't get to see a ton of her in Solo. She's at the very end. She has like that little back and forth with Han himself, but I feel like we probably saw more talking out of her in this episode than we even did in that movie. And every time she was on screen, I was like, all right, she's, as a flag smasher, I just saw her blow up a building with people in it last week, but she's kind of getting me, She's saying, I want to move back into my house. I want to remove the borders, talking about the way the world was before the blip. And John Walker, Hoskins, Bucky, they're all on the outside. John Walker's getting more and more impatient. He's like, it's been 10 minutes. Come on, here we go. He's looking at the clock. Something I noticed, John Walker is getting a little more scruffy. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. Like the more he's getting a little more Breaking Bad, a little more evil, they're letting his scruff grow back in, which I thought was such a nice little nod. It's where it's like, all right, yeah, he's not Captain America, clean shaven, all fine. Yeah.
Once it gets to full beard, like
then are you Infinity War?
Then you go back on the good side because Cap clean shaven, but then he's rough and rugged. He was on
Cap
the run. I guess he's technically
awesome.
a bad guy. When he had the beard, he was made, technically because he was on the run. Maybe he was an outlaw. Maybe he was bad then,
But John Walker eventually, he's like, fuck this. He looks at the clock, he bursts in, he goes past Bucky, and this was an issue because as you're watching it, it almost reminded me of the phone call from last week when Sam's on the phone with Sarah, and the whole time you're like, all right, I think we're gonna get through this. It seems like Sam's doing a good job talking to Carly Morgenthau. She kind of understands his side of things. He had her on the good supremacist line, right, where he's like, I know a guy that knows more about the super soldier serum than anyone. He calls you a supremacist. She's like, that's crazy. And then he kind of zings her, he mousetraps her. But John Walker bursts in, and Carly's like, is this what this was all about? We go on a big chase. Chaos kind of erupts. Zemo's involved in the chase. John Walker's involved in the chase. And they eventually go into kind of the back alleys of this building that they're in. The super serum spills all over everything. The flag smashers are there with it, right? And Zemo sees this. Zemo starts fucking smashing all this super serum with his feet. He tries to shoot Carly Morgenthau because, much like Dr. Nagel, you're involved with the super soldier serum. He wants to shoot you. He's going to shoot first, ask questions later. He misses one of the super soldier serums, though. Rolls away, and John Walker fucking beats him up, beats Carly Morgenthau up, or maybe she gets away or something, and he puts it in a little pouch of his Captain America costume. And you're like, oh, no. Immediately, as a John Walker hater, as a Captain America fan who's like, this fucking guy has the Captain America suit on. What the fuck's going on? You go, man, I don't want him to take that super soldier serum, but it's going to make the show a hell of a lot more interesting. So I kind of do want him to take the super soldier serum. He doesn't take it right away, though. Kind of teases that. And I will say, when Glennie texted me, he said something happened at the end of the episode. He didn't spoil it for me, but he said something happened at the end of the episode that made me so excited. As soon as John Walker grabbed it, I went, oh, that's what's going to happen. That's what Glennie must have been talking about. He's going to take the super soldier serum at the end of the episode. Oh, my God. I couldn't have been more wrong about that, but we'll save that for later.
By the way, I love that Glennie is our barometer for once Glennie is texting about it in excitement, because it's like Glennie is just such a even keeled guy. We had him on the We Gotta Believe Gala. I just laugh when the Mets lose in comical fashion. That's just funny. Like Dave said, he's just a manatee just happily floating about. And then when he's excited, though, you get excited with him, right?
He got excited halfway through WandaVision too. I got it almost the same exact text halfway through WandaVision. I'm in now. I love it.
So The rest of the podcast, as long as we do these My Mom's Basement about Marvel, we need to like let the people know when the Glenny alert has been sounded and he's texting about it, because that's when you have to like drag all the casual people who are out, be like, all right, it's time to get in. Glenny's excited. Everyone you know is going to be excited as well.
So my theory for the earlier episodes was like, I was like, he's taken the serum already, right? He because I was like, he's just too good at this stuff. And also I was like, the country, you know, the government is trotting him out as the next Captain. Everybody knows that Captain America had super soldier serum, right? Like this that's public knowledge. And then this guy is just like, what, like athletic? Like he's just like, oh, he like won the Olympics or something like that, and we're like, we're gonna make him Captain America? No, you need the super soldier. So I was like, I thought it was like an undisclosed story, but now, you know, I like it a lot more that it's like, you know, it amplifies whichever direction you are, if you're a little bit good, a little bit bad. And, you know, I like that he at least struggled with it so that he's not just pure villain. He didn't just grab it, slug it down, and like, you know, yes, I have he like, you know, struggles with it.
Conversation with Hoskins, like his main guy, his best friend, who he's going through for advice through everything. And Hoskins, who we've talked about on the podcast, has seemed a little more even keeled than Walker throughout the whole show. You know, last week when Walker got spit in the face, Hoskins told him, like, dude, you got to chill out. Like, you're Captain America now. But even when he said to Hoskins, like, would you take the serum? He's like, hell yeah, take the serum. Are you fucking kidding me? So he got a little like nudge in that direction from his boy.
I don't know how they picked the perfect guy, and I don't know if that's just the way his face really is, or if he's just sticking his jaw out like the whole time. I'm like, you just look like a guy who's like
so punchable, right?
I hate you, yeah. I'm like, you're a good-looking guy, but you're a weird-looking guy, and you're a bad-looking, but you know, you're like a preppy villain from, you know, like some like teen movie where you're like, he's not pure evil, but he's like an entitled dick, and he thinks everything he says is right, and you know. And now I'm glad like we can root against him, but good villains are important. So I like how he's gonna, you know, just go completely off the rails. I think there's also an opportunity for a redemption arc there, but you know, like it might be down the road because you know the whole world is gonna view him. I wonder how they'll spin zone that. If that'll just be like real modern politics where there's like some, you know, the super ultra nationalists are just gonna be like, well, you know, sometimes you got to smash a guy's head in. It's what it is, you know.
My two notes from this scene were Walker is such that goddamn chin. I hate that goddamn chin so much. And he's a fucking schmuck. I don't know what other word to use to describe him other than just schmuck. He's just a schmuck. We've all dealt with schmucks in our life. Sometimes you have the friend like Walker who's a schmuck, and like you're not even, he's like a friend of a friend, and he's an accomplice, I guess. But he just does everything just wrong. And like, I just don't like being around you. That's what I feel like every time he's on screen. And the more he hates Carly, the more I'm like, I'm a fucking flex man. When Walker like was bursting in there, I went online and looked for you know, a document to sign so I could join the flag. I was looking for an application for the Flag Smashers because I just can't stand this guy, which I guess goes to say, you know, just how good, like you said, you need good villains. It's a good acting job, all that kind of stuff. And it is kind of incredible that he's on like, he's all right. So he doesn't have super soldier serum to start with. But he's on some sort of like Pujols steroids.
He's on the gas. Yeah. He's on steroids. Come on.
It's not the juice, but it's like the milk. Yeah, it's Andro or something like that. It has to be something.
At this point, we go back to the hotel. And we're hanging out. It's Zemo. It's Bucky and Falcon. It is Cap or John Walker. I'm not calling him Cap. I'm not giving him that satisfaction. It's John Walker and Hoskins. And the Dora Milaje breaks in. They say, your time is up. We're here for Zemo. And John Walker walks up. Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're going to need this guy in the good old US of A. Our jurisdiction is, you know, as white and American as you could possibly be with these guys. And I loved Falcon just kind of laughing and being like, oh, buddy, I don't think you want to do that, pal. That's not like fighting our friend Bucky over here. And the Dora Milaje, we get like our real fight scene of the episode. Starts fucking these guys up with their spears, right? I think John Walker calls them like a pointy stick or something. Once again, as white and as American as you could possibly get. They throw this spear at one point, like through a table that John Walker's near. It like basically it makes him stuck to this table. It was so badass. Io hits something on Bucky's arm where she just makes it fall off. She said, you got no arm now. Boom, no arm. That was awesome. I loved afterwards. Sam was like, did you know they could do that? He was almost like, it's almost like when you get owned by someone in front of your buddy and they give you shit about it afterwards. He's like, fucking, I don't know. Little girl kicked your ass, like you said last time. But the Dora Milaje just absolutely runs rampant on all of them. Zemo kind of went in the back through all of it. He closed the doors, right? And then afterwards we hear he pulled an El Chapo, very funny line. But the Dora Milaje leaves after this, and John Walker, you could see there's something inside of him that's just so pissed off. He's almost shaking with rage. And he says to Hoskins, they weren't even super soldiers. Like they didn't even have the serum, and they took me down. I'm supposed to be Captain America here. Zemo got away. What's the whole thing about here? And we know now, shit. He wants to take that serum. He's basically got the okay from his friend Hoskins. Now the Dora Milaje kind of showed him up. Awesome scene from the Dora Milaje. And, this is a vital scene because it sent John Walker over the edge, I think.
Dora Milaje, definite stock up emoji for them.
Oh, yeah. Way up.
When I was saying in the flashback in Wakanda, like, don't worry, I won't let you hurt me or whatever, I was like, all right, lady, like, this is the guy, he's an assassin, right? No, she would have fucked him up. If she activated him with those words, he'd be fucking dead 6 feet under the dirt in fucking Wakanda right now. I love this fight. I was trying to like figure out, it was like a tag team battle royale, because it was like the Dora Milaje, I feel like, had extra people, so it wasn't like a 2-2, but it was like a battle royale with just all the tag teams in, or a Royal Rumble with all that. I love that side of it, and it was good fighting, which was the opposite of the scene earlier, where when Bucky and Carly were chasing each other, it felt like you ever see like Twilight when the werewolves are jumping and they have that, like, it was like that was just kind of corny when they were jumping up the stairs. I didn't like that. They nailed this fight scene. I absolutely loved it. By the way, I think I just came up with the Captain America nickname, but I don't know if I'm too old to say it. So Robbie, tell me if this works with the kids.
Okay.
He's Cap. Right? Isn't Cap mean fake?
Yeah. Cap works. Yeah, Cap works. Yeah.
For a full year, I didn't realize Cap meant fake. I thought Cap was like, you're just like, representing something. Like, oh, you're kidding. No, it means fake. So Cap. I think that kind of works. Makes me feel old, but it's like sus. I feel like I could say
bad. In HQ too, I sat with like Rhea and Fran and Trent and like all the kind of the young kids. And I think there was a point where I was like, what does this tweet mean? It says no blue hat. And everyone's just like, oh, Robbie. Oh man, yeah.
Cap is a word
I like. Cap.
I will never be able to like say that unironically. Like if somebody says something, if Clem just says something I disagree with, and I'm like, Cap, Clem, that's Cap. Like I will never be able to pull that off. Never.
You have to kill yourself if you do that.
Yeah. I couldn't even get to lit. I couldn't even say things were lit. So, and that's gone now. I don't think anybody says that.
I think it is gone. Yeah.
But I think now I'm like formulating another weird theory here. I felt like it was foreshadowing something when she took his arm off. The way he looked, like, so surprised, it was almost like, I can't believe you did that to me. And I think it's sort of like hinting at a realization that maybe they, like Wakanda, built in, fail safe. Like, they're solving him, but they're the smartest people in the world. They're gonna like be like, you try and use that arm against us, and we're just gonna be able to deactivate it. You try to, do something. So maybe there's a different set of code words, and then you're going to get the ambiguity. Are they good or bad? Or, like they're definitely good, but they also do for them, like they're not really concerned with anybody else. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some conflict between Bucky and them.
It's like when Peter Parker discovers the training wheels protocol on his suit, right? And he's like, Tony Stark put a fucking training wheels protocol. He has to like get Ned to take it off. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I don't know if that's just like a Mephisto theory that has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but it'll be interesting to see.
I'm at the point now where I don't want to ever see Mephisto in the MCU. I just would love that
he's the one character that never makes it.
Yeah. People go through like 100 years from now and every single character in the books versus the MCU, and it's just one that doesn't. The Venn diagram is just one dude that didn't cross over.
There's like
listen, China. We want that money in China. We're not putting them in.
There's like a whole movie set in hell, like the Hell Realm, and it's just he's just like, no, he's not there. We're not doing Mephisto. We're always gonna tease him forever.
But we don't even need Mephisto. You know why? Because we have the greatest villain alive right now, because my dude turned to dust. Zemo just swigging scotch as there's a full-blown fucking wrestling match going on in front of him. I
love his energy during that. Yeah, the whole scene just being like, oh, geez, these guys, again, the superheroes, the super soldiers, they just can't stop fighting. Yeah.
Zemo is a vibe, no cap. That's what we're going to say. Now we're just going
to did you guys... I get Ben Linus vibes from Zemo. Did you watch Lost? Where
I was a big Lost fan.
Just the weak, average person, but is so smart that he's literally dangerous. Like I one of the things I didn't like about it was how casual Falcon and Winter Soldier are like around him. Like they're all just like sitting on the couch and they're just like putting their feet up. And I'm like, dude, he's manipulating you right now. Like right now, you are being controlled. And he just slips out the back door when they're distracted. But he's so smart, you can't even be around him because you're getting manipulated at all times.
I think that's a great comparison, and it's Ben Linus with a fucking awesome accent. That Zemo accent makes everything he says just a little more villainous, a little more cool. It's got an edge to it. I love the Zemo accent. Before we get into our final fight scene of the episode, though, I will note Zemo probably had time to make himself a HelloFresh meal during this whole battle. I love HelloFresh. I genuinely do. HelloFresh delivers you these prepackaged meals, these little ingredient packages, and then they give you just as much ingredients as you need for the one meal. They give you a little prep sheet where it tells you what to do with the ingredients, and then they cut out that stressful meal planning for you. They cut out the trips to the grocery store. You can actually enjoy cooking because it's fun to like follow the little template they give you. You get dinner on the table in 30 minutes or less, and they're not bullshitting you. You could really make these meals in 30. They offer 25 plus recipes to choose from every week, from vegetarian meals to craft burgers and extra special gourmet options. There's something for everyone to enjoy, especially me. I'm kind of picky with my food. I like a lot of plain stuff. I don't like a lot of spices. There's something for everyone with HelloFresh. All of these recipes are designed and tested by professional chefs and nutritional experts to ensure deliciousness and simplicity. They've got a wide variety of easy, delicious options for all 3 meals a day, plus every snack and special treat in between. I love making this stuff. It's so easy. Like I've said, you could pick your meals, you get them delivered right to the door, right in the little prepackaged like brown bags, and throw those in the fridge, make one per night, and you got meals for a week, baby. Go to HelloFresh.com/12Robbie and use code 12Robbie for 12 free meals, including free shipping. 12 free meals is an amazing deal. I mean, you could feed like half the Flag Smashers with this code. HelloFresh.com/12Robbie and then use the promo code 12Robbie and you will get free shipping and 12 free meals. And now we can get into the final sequence of the episode. We get a chase down with the Flag Smashers, Carly Morgenthau, and the Cap fan from earlier in the episode, the guy who was like, yeah, I actually liked Captain America. He was fucking cool.
That dude is a red shirt. That dude was like, I was like, who is this guy? And why is he doing so much exposition and just explaining to the world to us? I should have seen the ending coming. But
should have seen that coming. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Like, this guy's just, I guess he's Carly's like main Flag Smasher partner or whatever. We get this whole sequence, and John Walker, there's something different about him in this sequence. And I love the way they showed it. Like when he starts throwing punches, when he starts running down staircases or jumping down staircases, and you're just like, oh shit, this motherfucker took the super soldier serum. When he does something in front of a Falcon right away, and Falcon looks at him and goes, what did you do? And it's just this like, oh my, I cannot believe, did you fucking take the super soldier serum? Because now you're punching people and they're going through walls. That didn't happen in the past. I love the CGI on the super soldier stuff. Like whoever was in charge of showing how that looks visually, how a super soldier messing someone up instead of just a normal person, they nailed that. They nailed the vibe of it. We get into this big battle in like an open room at this point, and Carly Morgenthau fucking punches the life out of Hoskins. She kills him with a punch. Punches him. He goes up against the column. I don't know if the hit against the column snapped his neck or whatever, but they give you kind of the TV indication of like, this guy's dead when they, he does a little snap on the side.
You're dead. If you fall on the side, and if somebody taps you on the cheek and you don't respond, you're dead.
You're dead. Hoskins went up to him. Yeah, come on, buddy. As soon as
I don't think that's something you should do. Or has a neck case. You're like, are you okay, buddy?
Slapping him back and forth.
You have medical training. You're like a soldier. Like, you definitely don't. You need a neck brace. Like, get an NBA referee out here, and he'll take better care of you.
Remember when we were kids too, where to signify you were dead, you close your eyes and you put your tongue out. I've never seen a dead person with their tongue out. It's crazy.
No, except for Talia al Ghul in The Dark Knight Rises. She hit a little. It's a really bad death scene for her. But Hoskins has that look on his face, again, like shaking with rage when he realizes, John Walker has that look on his face when he realizes Hoskins has been killed. And Falcon has a look of fear on his face, like, what is this fucking super soldier lunatic about to do? He jumps out the window. He sees the Flag Smasher, who, again, didn't kill Hoskins. We don't know necessarily what this guy did, but he didn't seem like the worst of all people. Right in front of everybody, right in front of this monument in Town Square, John Walker fucking beats him down as this guy's begging for his life, begging to be spared. he kills him with the shield, fucking over and over again, smashing this guy. And we get an incredible final shot of the episode where John Walker's standing there with a bloody shield. Half this shield is covered in blood. There were a lot of bystanders, a lot of people with their phones recording this. Even Sam and Bucky were there, like, oh my God, Carly Morgenthau watched it all happen. Or if you think Carly Morgenthau hated the Avengers before, oh my God, she is going to hate Captain America after this, especially. Crazy, jarring ending of the episode, or ending to the episode. This might have been one of the most violent things we ever saw in the MCU.
Captain America. Let's call him what he is.
Captain
America. He didn't behead him, right? It was just he basically just crushed his face.
I don't think he beheaded him, but we did get a question that I wanted to bring up from Will is Dope. He said, "Why didn't we get to see the decapitation?" I mean, I don't know if he beheaded him, but I just had to shout out that tweet from Will. That was good stuff. It made me chuckle.
We saw Thanos get his head cut off. Why can't we see this average innocent person?
True.
I mean, it is still Disney Plus. Like, come on, we're not going to get that. That was like a brutal for Disney Plus. So I think that's
brutal with the blood dripping off the shield at the end too. Oh my God! And as a Cap guy who loves that shield, right? I didn't want Falcon to give it up to that museum because look what it came of it. I was still like, damn, that's badass. It's a pretty badass shot.
It was very Thronesy, right? Like I remember, I think Rob Stark. No, is it or maybe it's Theon? They chop the guy's head off. And he just keeps hacking at it because he can't get it through, and it was gnarly, man. And it was let's call it what it was. Like it's not roid rage. It's I'm trying to think like super serum storming. I don't know. Like there has to be some sort of thing.
Alliteration,
for that, right?
yeah.
And the fact that guy said in the episode he was a Captain America fan as a kid. That is some fucking twisted shit that you're just dying as you see that shield fucking hammer onto you because like you said with the beard, this just proves this is not Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers would not have done that. We even have kind of the callback to is it Winter Soldier when him and Iron Man or Civil War when him and Iron Man are fighting and he takes the fucking shield and he puts it into his like heart, which I mean isn't a good thing, but he's not killing the motherfucker, right? Yeah. So I thought that was very cool. I would have loved it too if Battlestar like woke up and was like, "Oh man, I was out for a minute." Sorry.
You know, there was a quick moment where they cut to him dead, like during the chase, and for a second I thought that we were gonna get that. Like, wait a minute, is he not dead? Like, is he? But no, he's dead. I think he's dead for good.
And like, this is my thing though. What do you guys expect is going to happen when you're all fighting each other with weapons and super serum and shit? Like, someone's going to get hurt. It's like when you have kids fighting enough times as you hear them running around the house, someone's going to end up crying. Someone's going to end up dead when it's a bunch of superheroes with weapons. So the fact this doesn't happen more often is crazy in my mind. The fact no one died in the hotel fight with Dora Milaje or whatever is so when he died, I was like, yeah, that's what happens. And these guys aren't superhero. Like that's the other thing too that I hope they kind of like subtly hinted at when they're talking about giving autographs and taking pictures. And then Battlestar's like, I have my own little logo I draw. Like these guys aren't like the Avengers just seemed a little more polished. These guys are kind of just like dudes. Like it's like when we go out and we're just fucking morons who work at Barstool and he asks for a picture. It's like it's just fucking weird because I'm just a moron. I don't have like a skill. I'm not a professional athlete. So
they're influencers.
Yeah, they're influencers.
Like, what are you even famous
more or less. Yeah,
I thought it was cool when they first revealed. I think like one of the Flag Smashers like swings a pipe at him or something. He just like bends it, and you're like, oh, okay, so definitely. But I thought it was cool how that guy reacted. He was like, oh no. Because now it's even. Like, don't forget, those guys were just like refugees who just got the super serum. So now it's even. So it's like, oh, now you're fighting like a U.S. operative, like a trained soldier, and you're going to get your ass kicked. So I thought that was cool. And also, this is where now I'm convinced that the show we need during the blip is about Barstool. It's about bloggers. Because could you imagine if Clem was like, yo, Robbie, did you see this video of Captain America smashing this guy's head in? Yo, is Kev going to do a 1 minute man on that? Like, who's going to blog it? Like, like who's writing this? You know, or page views, because it's like, these are the stories, a trending tab. Oh, Captain America killed him.
Make sure you put a NSFW tag on that one. Yeah.
Right. It's all trending. People got their phones out. Somebody's on Clubhouse or something like that. Like, they're like, I'm broadcasting live. It goes, everything goes to TMZ. I
do one of those videos where he's like, listen, there's fucking bad people on both sides. This guy's a lunatic, and it is what it is.
I mean, I can see Portnoy being someone that hated like Captain America. It's like LeBron to him, and he's like, I fucking told you, this guy's made a joke since the beginning.
He's popping the ace of spades. He's like,
all about himself all along. Yeah. So funny. I mean, John Walker and Hoskins are basically people that wanted to be superheroes, right? And like, no, none of the Avengers wanted to be superheroes. None of them asked for that. They were kind of put into that position where it's like, man, you got to save the world. You're the only people in the position to do so. And now we got John Walker and rest in peace Hoskins. Pour one out for him. Seemed like a good guy, but you mess with the wrong people. You mess with the flag smash, you get punched and you die.
That's what we do. We fucking smash flags. We smash
That's what
fucking
we
heroes.
do.
That's what we do.
We can get you a flag smasher shirt, at least for the finale. We got to get you a flag smasher shirt.
I'm going to wear a fucking purple ski mask, and I'm going to put my flag smashers mask over that purple ski mask. I'm a double villain. I don't even know. I love these guys. And let's call it what it is. The other side of the heroes in this, can we just admit that Falcon looks fucking lame when he shows up to this fight in his little getup?
No, he looked cool. He burned the guy with his backpack. I like that. I was like, I never thought about it. You could burn someone with your jetpack.
That was cool, but like when he flies in, it's cool because he's flying. But when he's walking and he has his wings up, I'm like, dude, you look like a walking action figure. Yeah, he has the goggles do it too. That's exactly like he needs to have like the Star-Lord, like he hits a button in the goggles form because he just looks like a nerd. And then I'm like, I know you call that machine Red Wing and it's a fucking robot. It's just weird, man. I like Falcon. It's just weird. He's fucking Papa Doc.
It sounds like you don't like Falcon. Sounds like you're full flag smasher. I don't like Bucky. I'm skeptical of him. I don't like Falcon. Let's hold out hope that by the end of the series, he'll get a new costume and he'll be the new Captain America and it'll be badass.
There we go.
You guys ready to get into? Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing. I thought it was interesting that one of the Easter egg things that they picked up was all the logos on Cap. The flag is in black and white. And they were like, this is very Blue Lives Matter adjacent.
Interesting.
So it's like, I don't know if Disney's going
all in
on
his suit and everything too.
I just saw one picture of the patch. I think it's at the end when he like looks up from smashing this guy's brains in, and it's very clearly like a black and white flag. And you put the blue stripe on it.
Yeah.
You put that blue stripe on it, and that is Blue Lives Matter. I don't know if Disney's going that direction, but a lot of these companies are woke and are trying to be.
There's definitely like some racial undertones in this show. I've seen some Twitter threads that basically said that like the writers intended this, and that John Walker is supposed to be like white privilege, the character, and that everything Falcon worked for is just being sort of handed to John Walker in this way. So, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
White privilege, the actual like superhero name, would be an outrageous thing if it actually became a thing.
That could be his new name. You give Captain America to Falcon, and John Walker is white privilege. The superhero.
He's the patriot.
That's a superhero on like a South Park episode. There's like there's a character like white privilege is my favorite.
yeah.
Didn't we get and like the phone call too, right? When she calls Sarah, when Carly calls Sarah and is like, is he working with Captain America talking about Falcon? And she's like, no, this America isn't, doesn't represent me. So that superhero. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of racial shit, which
not my cap, like not my America, not my president.
Not my president, not my cap. Yeah. We forgot to mention that. Yeah. Carly Morgenthau called Sarah and threatened the children. Can't be threatening a superhero's nephews. That's bad.
A good old fashioned family threat. That's pretty. When you get to and you're just saying like the name of their school or something or the road that they live on. That is some
by the docks. She says something like that.
Letting you know I'm watching. Yeah, I hope we get this. Kind of made me hope that we get like an Equalizer style showdown in Louisiana, like on the docks in the final episode or something crazy like that. It'd be awesome. All right, we've got to take one more ad break to talk about our friends at One Championship, the biggest martial arts organization in the world. They are now on TNT every Wednesday night in April, and you're not going to want to miss another stacked fight card, one on TNT 2, this Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern and Pacific time, right after AEW Dynamite. One on TNT has the best fights on Wednesday nights, as we saw last Wednesday. There's a great Demetrius Johnson fight. He took a tough loss in that one, but man, he took it like a champion, so much respected Demetrius Johnson. This week, we've got Timothy Natsiakin, the Russian killer who knocked out Eddie Alvarez in less than 1 minute, finally getting his shot at gold when he faces the golden boy of One Championship, one lightweight world champion, Christian Lee. It's a clash of knockout artists, with Lee holding the record for the most finishes in one, and Natsiakin having the fastest knockout in one history. This one is going to be fireworks. Plus, one atomweight kickboxing world champion Janet Todd continues her quest for gold in a second sport when she takes on number 4 ranked Anne-Line Hogstad in Muay Thai. The American looks to prove that she's the most dangerous female striker in the world by dominating all of One Super Series. One on TNT 2 airs this Wednesday night, right after AEW Dynamite at 10 p.m. Catch the prelims starting at 8:30 p.m. on Bleacher Report, and remember, the best fights are on Wednesday nights. Let's get back to the show.
There was actually a line that Sam said earlier too, which he said blood isn't always the solution. That felt foreboding, right? And if he like brings that up again on that boat, which I feel like is going to happen now, this is how we go. When the three of us start going,
the theories start coming out.
The theories start coming out, and then I expect it to happen. And I like if you were to put like the pros and cons of if you want to have kids, which I think everyone kind of at least does in their brain before they actually do it and they find their, partner or whatever to do it with. I feel like on the cons, it's like, it's a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of your time. It changes your whole life, which is, I don't think not a lot of people notice just how much it fucking changes your life. Fucking a supervillain potentially threatening your kids is on my con list. Like, it was something I thought about before we had kids. And then on my pro list, it's like you get to see the magic of, life through children's eyes again. It's great for your family. And then you can always do to another supervillain, please, I have kids, and they might spare your life. So I'm kind of hoping my kids save my life one day from like a fucking...
Please, I have a family, yeah. And you also want, just in case you ever made it to the WWF, if you get thrown off a Hell in a Cell, you want Jim Ross to be like, by God, that man has a family. And you don't want to be the guy who's just like, oh, there he goes.
He's had a girlfriend.
Exactly. Yeah. You want a family. You guys ready to get into listener questions?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
All right. The first one comes from Michael J. Fats, not Michael J. Fox. Unfortunately, I don't believe he's a weekly listener. But Michael J. Fats says, with the arrival of Io, could this be a way of writing off T'Challa? Maybe have Zemo kill him accidentally or not. Would be full circle for T'Chaka and T'Challa to both be offed by Zemo. Could make him the big bad for Black Panther 2. Now, this is a tough one. Obviously, it's like we don't want to be insensitive by answering this because it's like there's no correct answer to it. It's like we don't know how they're going to deal with it. But I thought it was worth bringing up because they did bring in Wakanda. They did kind of give us a flashback to Wakanda. We saw the Dora Milaje. And I thought immediately to Black Panther 2 when I saw this episode. What do they do for Black Panther 2? Do they set it during the blip where, Wakanda didn't have a king? T'Challa, they were looking for him or whatever. Do they set it afterwards? Could you make Zemo the villain for that? Is there some sort of bombing in Wakanda that you somehow write T'Challa off in that way? They're put in such a tough spot, but I thought it was a decent question. I think Zemo probably could be the villain for Black Panther 2 if, they continue going the way that this is set it up, where he's now escaped and Wakandans are chasing him. So I don't know. I'll throw it to you guys.
Zemo didn't have any vendetta against Wakanda specifically, right? He was just trying to cause like
sort
a
of,
splinter.
Yeah. I think they were.
Now I get why
they. Bucky, he said it's not personal, but
right now I get why they hate him. Like they have a vendetta against him, so maybe he would do it in self-defense. But I have no idea how
so
they can
tough.
solve the Black Panther situation. Like even in like if there's a tribute to him and there's an outpouring and it ties in with Chad Boseman himself. But like, there are brilliant writers out there. Like the person who figures out how to even slightly tactfully, tastefully do this should get all the awards. Cause I don't know what you can do. I mean, he was literally like, that franchise was going to be like something different. Like, I feel like there was going to be the Black Panther like the BPU was going to be its
we
own
might have got
thing.
like Wakanda as a Disney World park, like
right. Oh, absolutely. Way. Oh yeah. I think that was definitely going to be like within, cause I've been in California. I've been to Disneyland where they had all these signs that said Stark Industries. And then they had like the Wakanda symbol. So I think that there was going to be, and I think there still will be that, but
they announced, I think last week, like the Avengers campus is going to come soon.
It was just poised to be, I think, like its own subcategory, and now I don't know what to do. But hopefully they figure it out. But I could see Zemo tying into whatever Black Panther 2 becomes.
Yeah, I think I don't know how much like this series will tie into that. Like at the end of it, because I think he was alive, right, when they were filming and when it was all written and whatever, because he died in August, and I think that's when this was supposed to debut.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so fucked up.
I think I heard, unless they're keeping this under wraps, which I don't know if they do, I think I heard that the what if, he voiced the what if, and I think I heard that that's the last thing.
I heard the same,
did with them. I mean, if Chad Boseman, if there's like that's going to be incredible if there's some secret Chad Boseman footage where he's like still in it. I mean, they have to put that in a movie. That has to be like people in the theater going bananas for it, but I don't know if that'll happen.
You know what I would do? And I don't even know who's in charge of Black Panther 2, but like if you need to like like kind of like settle all the Bozeman stuff and kind of just like land it and then move to the next one. Just bring the Russo brothers in. They should be the cleanup guys for everything in the MCU, in my opinion. Just have them be like, and this is what happened with Black Panther, and then hand it over to whoever's in charge of Black Panther 2, and we'll be off and it'll be perfect. So the Russo brothers, that is, we'll do the meme again. The leaking water, boom, slap the Russo brothers on it, slap Kevin Feige on it. It's always the answer.
Our next question comes from Dylan Caraballo. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Dylan is a longtime listener. This one's going to be one that I hope I don't get people's hopes up too much for. He says, big rumors that a well-known actor is coming in to play a well-known Marvel character for episode 5. I don't know where he got these rumors. I haven't seen any myself, but I'm just...
Did he get them from the WandaVision subreddit? I mean, like, do we think it's Ian McKellen?
I know. He says, my guess is it's just a troll and it'll be Thunderbolt Ross or someone, or they got someone cool to play the power broker, but who do you guys think? I mean, John Krasinski, Reed Richards, is he the aerospace engineer in this? I don't know. Who knows?
Oh, man.
Damn, that aerospace engineer. Oh, God. I hate that fucking aerospace engineer.
So I mean, I'd love to, speculate. I mean, it could just be anybody. But I think if the way that WandaVision worked out, I don't think that they're going to drop, like, Wolverine into the middle of something. I do think that could be somebody interesting popping up. But I mean, like, Doctor Strange not even showing up in WandaVision just makes me think that all these things are going to be contained to themselves. And, I'm just not going to get my hopes up yet. Doesn't mean that this guy's wrong. Doesn't mean that this is, but yeah, I mean, it'd be like throw somebody famous in to play the power broker. We got to see who the power broker is. And unless it's just Sharon or
well, it's great that you mentioned that, because our next question, our final question, is from Jason. He said, what do you guys think Sharon Carter's relationship is with the power broker? Is it her? Does she just work for the power broker? Last week, we said we didn't think she was the power broker. We believed she was just working for the power broker. I'm sticking with that. I still believe that she's not going to be the be all end all in this whole thing. I would be surprised if she was. I wouldn't be bummed if she was or anything. I think it'd be fine. I think it makes sense, but I don't think she's the be all end all, but I do think she's working for the power broker.
Yeah, I think, I mean, she's 3 on the sus list. I mean, Sharon, she has access to satellites. Sus. You have access to satellites. In the sky, sus. Madripoor is some weird ass shit. It's always turning over, and it sounds like it's crazy there. Yet she seems she's doing all right in that. Like that, if you are keeping company in a tunnel full of graffiti, you have some shit going on. So yeah, I definitely think Sharon, whether it's the power broker or something else. And again, for the character, I think it could be Cap. I think it could be Chris Evans as like Captain America and old Cap flashback, something like
awesome.
that.
That's where I can't get my hopes. I mean, like, I don't think that's
I know you say that. I'm like, oh my God, Chris Evans is going to be in this?
Right.
Like,
I love that,
it's just Clem saying it. Chill out. Yeah.
I have seen rumors that they think it'll be Zola. The AI version of Zola.
I think that would be cool. I thought he was awesome when he came back as an AI in Winter Soldier. That was a cool scene.
Yeah, and I guess people were saying that there's an Easter egg in Civil War. No, I can't remember which one. I guess it's where they flash back where he's still alive and he grabs a piece of paper that has a robot body. Apparently, like, he gets in the comics, his consciousness gets put into like a robot body. And I can't remember in which movie it was. Like, you see him just grabbing papers off the desk, and it's the drawing of it. And, it's like, there's a lot of like green computers, like computer screens with green communication on it. And that's like kind of what he's gone, or he was like the screensaver on something, right?
Yeah.
Or he was like the lock screen or something. So I don't know if that would qualify as like someone coming back, and that's the rumor that's going. To me, that would be like a self-contained, appropriate thing, but not like,
that would be
oh
cool.
my God.
It wouldn't be huge. No, not by any means. It would be like, oh, cool, Zemo's back. Yeah, or not Zemo, Zola. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're just gonna go down that rabbit hole and be like, oh, is it Magneto? Is it
what's Chris Evans? What's Steve Rogers doing in universe right now? Where is he? Nobody knows, right? And it's like he just watches his shield get used to fucking slay this guy in the streets.
Old Cap,
horrific
right? He's
homicide.
the old man, right?
Come on, he's got to be like
now with old Cap, they definitely need to just make him young again. The way when they were testing out the time travel and they made Ant-Man a baby. Like,
you send time through him, not him through time, or whatever.
He's an old man, and he just goes and suits up in that thing, and they just poof, he's Chris Evans again, right? I mean, like, come on. I was like, what is that for, if not to make someone old young again? That just didn't make any sense for them to show that. That's
You could definitely do it. Secret Wars, when they eventually want to bring in Secret Wars and they want to bring Cap back and they want to do an AI Tony Stark at the suit or however they want to do that.
Is the actor who plays the Black Captain America, is he CGI to look old, or is he actually old?
I think he's actually old. So you might have to get like a different actor if you ever want to do a flashback sequence. That's a show that I would be down for. If you want to do Disney Plus, Isaiah Bradley, the Black Captain America, show us that fight during the Korean War with Bucky. Like, I'm so down for that show.
You couldn't give me too much Marvel content.
Agreed.
I'm just like,
James Cameron, oversaturation. Fuck you, Jimmy. No more. No more.
I want it all because let's go.
All right, let's get into the Hydra list, aka the sus list, with Clem to close this episode out.
Oh, I see a little bit of anger in your voice, Rob. I can sense a little bit where it's going to come out here. All right, Sharon's 3 again, satellites, graffiti tunnels, all that kind of stuff. 2, it's Yuri. Who is Nakajima? Tell me who Nakajima is, and then I'll move along. But tell me who Nakajima is, Yuri. And number 1, I mean, it's the guy that just bludgeoned someone to death with Captain America's shield in front of like hundreds of horrified onlookers in the middle of a city street. I don't even think he's probably just an asshole hardo, but at this rate, like, it's hard not to do it. The guy literally has blood on his hands right now, right? So we're gonna put him number 1 on this list.
Hey, I'm happy Winter Soldier's off the list. He's a Winter Soldier, my guy. He's off the sus list. We saw the Wakanda and stuff. Clem feels a little more comfortable with him. I'm glad the sus list is only 3 people too, because he probably would have been 4th on Clem's list.
He's on the sus watch list. He's number 1 on there because, again, when we see how it gets deprogrammed out of him, it's like, and I think they said Shuri had like something to do with it. So I feel like there was some technology. Shuri. So I feel like that could be some sort of a thing where it's more than just some herbal fucking essence that they used on him. Herbal essence, is that the shampoo that they used to put in?
Yeah. That is tough if there was no technology involved. I thought the same thing. Like, all right, this is a little ayahuasca, as Brendan Clancy referred to it as before. You know,
I saw. I think Screen Crush did something where they referenced Civil War, where Steve kind of has the shield in the same manner, and I think Tony says do it, and he hits him in the chest and he crushes the arc reactor instead of like decapitating him, and obviously this guy does that. But then he also went on to explain, like, don't forget at the end of that, when he's walking out with Bucky, he drops the shield because he's like, I have failed overall. I think like what's going to further cement Walker as being like a bad guy, not that he's not a bad guy right now, but he's going to now try and spin this and be like, well, I had to do it. He was bad, you know, and that's going to be the main problem. Now, if Steve Rogers were to ever come back, that would be it, where it'd be like, listen, you can make mistakes, you can fail, but you can't now represent and be like, this is what we're about. You can't, like, you know, backtrack and justify it. That's where even Steve, when, you know, because in Civil War, it's like, who was the bad guy? They're both good guys, and they were just, you know, it's like brothers quarrel.
They were stubborn, yeah.
But Steve judged himself as being like unworthy of that, you know.
One of them knew about the other one's parents getting killed by his best friend.
Listen, really? You wouldn't want to know. You wouldn't want to know. You wouldn't want to know.
No, to be fair, what Cap did was right. We only lost half the universe. That resulted in the guy who told him to do it wrong dying and leaving a adorable kid behind without a father. But we're just gonna say that. All right.
Same.
We're gonna everyone forget what you just heard for the last 10 seconds. You know, as Ted Lasso would say, what's the happiest animal? It's a goldfish. Be a goldfish. All right. I will say I would love for the final episode to feature an old Steve Rogers, like, actually giving Sam the shield in almost a ceremony, a presentation, like when they unveiled it at the museum. Like, if they go back to the Smithsonian and, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the new Captain America, and it's Steve Rogers, not that fucking, you know, government fuck. Which, by the way, we haven't seen him since. Someone brought this up. Maybe he is the start of like the Iron Wars. Is that what it's called? The Don Cheadle show, the War Machine show, right? Armor Wars, I think it's called. Yeah. He gives Don Cheadle this look in that first episode, and Don Cheadle shoots it right back like they maybe have history and they don't like each other. I could see that guy being like, all right, Tony Stark's dead too, so let's fucking take the Iron Man suits and make those America's new weapons of mass destruction, or whatever he refers to them as. I could see him coming back in that show.
I am completely ready for a West Wing style show that just follows Steve Rogers' campaign to be president of the United States with no superheroes involved whatsoever. It's all the politics. It's West Wing. Bring Sorkin in to do it. Again, just give me more blip. Give me more like behind the scenes. I want to
Do the
know
different genres, right? In the
I want you to
MCU, yeah.
show me the borders. How were the countries drawn up during the blip? I would need it all. Give me it in like a video game form or something, like where I can like play and control the armies of it. And during set in the blip era, need all of it.
Amen.
Oh, thank you, Brent. Thanks for reminding me too. Like if they really sounded like the Flag Smashers when they were like people just needed each other at this time, and I need to see like how it was such like a downtime and the things people did to try to get together. And I'm telling you, you guys are going to become Flag Smashers too when you see just we were down on our luck. I'm going to put myself. I was alive. I survived the blip, and it was a tough time. You guys just weren't there. You wouldn't. Isn't that a meme now? You wouldn't get it. You weren't
there.
Yeah.
Listen, we've gotten a ton of flashbacks. I would be cool with a Carly Morgenthau flashback. Let me see her happy during the blip. Let me see her helping out children during the blip, or how it was, how things were. I'm super down for that.
Or you see her like being oppressed, being maybe held captive, and then her captors just vanish. But then you flash 5 years to the future, and then like you hear another commotion, and certain people are coming back, and she's like, oh no, this is the worst.
It's just in total fear, and you could see maybe why she acted the way she did, why she started this whole campaign, why she became Robin Hood, giving to the poor, taking from the rich. This has been a great episode, though. This has been a lot of fun, Brendan. I'm happy that we were able to get you back on for episode 4. You did a great job with the breakdown. Love all the theories. And everyone else, make sure you subscribe to My Mom's Basement on YouTube. We are now on YouTube. The show is enhanced if you've been watching on YouTube. Really appreciate it. We are on the road to 3,000 subs right now. And I'm sticking by my prediction that we made when we launched this channel. By the end of 2021, I think My Mom's Basement is going to be bigger on YouTube than any other platform. Bigger on YouTube than podcasting, bigger on YouTube than anything else. So with your help, we could do it. Don't go Flag Smasher on us. Don't go total extremist with us. Just hit the subscribe, hit the like button on the videos. Where is
subscribe button smasher?
Subscribe button smasher. Hit that over there, I think, is the like button. And we will talk to you guys next week for episode 5, the episode 5 breakdown.